On this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic, we asked the question, should Jemele Hill apologize to Donald Trump for her comments about him being a white supremacist? And one of our Facebook friends, Tressa Hunley, will be joining us to address Lamont in the worst kind of way. Don't want to miss it. All that and more on this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of
Sometimes my mama said, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one, okay? Go ahead.
Rudy Giuliani practices voodoo. So he put a voodoo hex on my girl, Hillary, and that's why she got woozy. And the Secret Service had to prop her up and put her in the van.
But take us to a break, my dude.
It was voodoo, son.
I don't know about that voodoo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. This episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic is being brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has changed the value game all over again. Today, grab yourself a 4 for $4. A juicy junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT, large fry, 4-piece nugget, and a drink. You can always get it fresh, never frozen, at a participating Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now let's start the show. First Colin Kaepernick, now Jemele Hill. Who would have ever thought a girl from Detroit, Michigan, who graduated from Mumford High School, would be an international activist for white supremacy or black, nationalism, I should probably say. So I'm going to start with you on Lamont on this one. Are you supporting Jemele Hill? Because the White House and Donald Trump has called for Jemele Hill to apologize for what she said about Donald Trump being a white supremacist. Should she be apologizing? Now, we have said you cannot disrespect the office of the President of the United States. So, Lamont, should she apologize or should she not?
Well, first, let me hit. Can I hit my disclaimer first?
What? Damn, Lamont.
anytime he's about to tap dance like a muff.
Come on, Playboy. I need time to put my disclaimer out in the universe.
I just want to say this has been a very good year because you have defended about 5 people, and all of them must have projects in the works. And it must be a good. Snoop Dogg, Charlamagne, now Jemele Hill. You have went from working for B&B Records all the way working to the great Charlamagne, the guy.
No, here's my disclaimer because, I got a lot of homies at ESPN and the mouse is very powerful. Disney, the whole crew over there. But I think that what Jemele, the fellow Mumford Mustang, because I did graduate from the same high school a little bit, earlier than she did. But I think she was 100% in the right. And I think what you said about disrespecting the office of the president is actually different than the actual president. I think they're two different things. And I actually had to learn that because there's some people that actually work for Donald Trump, but there are some people that actually work for the office of the United States of America. So there's two different things. So I don't think she fell into that bag where she disrespected the office. She actually just stated facts. And Maynard, you could probably quote this a little bit better than I, because we talked about this earlier. You are the super cape-wearing Negro of the podcast, and your
flying
Negro. So your level of statistics are a little bit better than mine, but there are actual tweets from 2013, from 2012, where Donald Trump tweeted certain things that white supremacists say and what they do, and some of his opinions were promoting the white supremacy mindset. So she didn't lie. She didn't say anything that was untrue. And again, shout out to Jemele. Because she said, those opinions were my opinions and not that of ESPN. So this is what it is. And, luckily she had her crew. Michael was like, we rocking with you. I also understand a lot of people at ESPN, some quietly, some not, was like, Jemele, you was on point. That was your own personal Twitter. You didn't get on the air. You didn't use any ESPN letterhead or anything like that. Although a lot of those guys that are on network TV, they do have those, morality clauses or whatever. But as the president of ESPN said, listen, this is a personal matter. We'll deal with it personally. And you know what? Quietly, that was him supporting Jemele, if you ask me.
So you saying that, she spoke facts. White supremacy, the definition, white supremacy or white supremacism is a racist ideology based on the belief that white people are superior in many ways to people of other races, and that therefore white people should be the dominant over other races. So that is what you are calling a fact that she said. And you believe that Donald Trump believes that, and he has come out and basically said that the white people are the dominant race.
Yes, Donald J. Trump. Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Maynard?
That leaves you, Flying Negro.
Yeah, the super flying Negro.
Well, the first step one is you must be the super Negro because you obviously can see into the future because that comment doesn't come up until later in the show.
I know, right?
So that's magic.
Podcast magic we got going on. Podcast magic, baby. Podcast magic.
Oh, I'm glad you said something because I was
see it in the future. You can see it in the future. That was the open we just did, man.
Gee, come on, man. I'm trying out here, bro.
Second, I really just based on how you try to play me with your Trumpisms and calling me names, I really want to disagree with you. But I can't.
Why?
I just want to disagree with you because I'm just damn disagreeable. But I can't disagree with you. Jemele spoke truth. And you said, Maynard, please, you want me to chime in. Please show where he's been a white supremacist or where he has asserted that white people essentially know better or are better or whatever the case may be. Let's just go back to some basic pieces. He said that he called him the Mexican judge would not give him a fair trial. Mm-hmm. First of all, that man is an American. That judge is an American. He was born in America. And the idea that that person can't do his job, like he can't, his job is to dispense justice, meaning he's a judge. He's done his job. He went to law school. He practiced as an attorney. He studied. His job is to be a good steward of the law. But according to Donald Trump, he's not that good. He's not good enough to do it. Why? Because I'm white and he's Mexican. He asserted that Barack Obama couldn't have been a good student. He won't show his degree. He won't show his birth certificate. He won't this, he won't that. He couldn't be that smart. I'm Trump. I have the smartest people. That's a white supremacist move right there. To be honest, let's keep it where it is and keep it in pocket. He's hired all these people as one of the whitest cabinets, whitest administrations ever. And it seems like on a regular basis, the cops who couldn't shoot straight. You got Michael Flynn and his son out here wilding out. Manafort taking meetings with the Russians. Jared Kushner trying to find somebody to fund his $2 billion building debacle in New York. And, Donald Trump Jr. taking meetings with Russians on adoptions, which it wasn't adoptions. And they're the best. They're the best. The idea that Trump hires the best, I have the best people. Then the idea that he would say there were bad people on both sides. There were good people on both sides regarding Charlottesville. Neo-Nazism is a form of Nazism. Nazism comes from the Hitler regime. The Hitler regime had a philosophy of Aryan superiority, which is essentially white supremacy. If you support, endorse, accept, allow any brand of Nazism here in America, then you're supporting white supremacy. You're right, Lamont. Jemele is correct.
I like Young Jock.
Yo, my dude. Yo, my dude.
I talk. This is a true story.
Yo, my dude.
It's a true story. I taught young Jock how to play poker. True story. In Miami. I like, it's going down. He got a little clownish, a little buffoonery on the, Love and Hip Hop. But now he out here wearing dresses. Now I get
perms and makeup.
fashion.
Now there's a picture I seen. He had on makeup and the perm with the dress.
I mean, Lamont, this your lane. I mean, what's too far? I mean,
I feel like you're being a hypocrite, bro. No. You're being a hypocrite. Yeah, you know why? Because you celebrated Wanda. You said Wanda was so nice and funny, and Jamie got on the pumps and the heels and the hey.
No.
What?
No.
Y'all wasn't front.
Don't try
What?
that. Don't try that.
What?
Yeah.
That was
What?
a character.
Yeah, Lamont went a little
living
too far.
color. And that's the same thing as ain't nobody looking at Shanae in that way. But this is young Jock out here not playing a character. He in these streets with a dress on, a perm, and some makeup saying, I'm doing publicity for my show. Come on, man. Now, you did a great article on Young Thug, and Young Thug, the way he dresses, that's his style. I even give Jaden Smith a pass. That's his style. This ain't young Jock style. This is, going back to Maynard's point, this is selling out.
Well, this is another
for clicks
thing.
and views.
No. Let Lamont go ahead and get his in real quick.
Yeah, let me listen.
Because he's working the record.
Listen, no, not at all. And this might come back and bite me later on, but the great trickster, Mona Scott Young, the queen of buffoonery in the 21st century, this is what they do, bro. They got us setting it up for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And they got the clicks and the views, bro. If you mean to tell me you think my man is running to the Waffle House at 2:30 in the morning to get American breakfast in the dress, come on, man. Homeboy got better. What?
Well, why would he put it on?
So hold on, Lamont. This is the thing.
It's part of the show.
Now, Brother Polite said this a long time ago.
Ooh, shout out to Brother Polite. Shout out. Good
Real
guy,
talk.
Good guy.
They always are looking. Dave Chappelle said this. They're always looking for a way to get a black man feminized. Now, I've been saying this about why legendary hip hop is important, why we got to go back. Because if you fall for any of the shenanigans that are going on, if we accept the weird things that are occurring in our culture, not just hip hop, but black culture today. You know, there was an episode of Insecure where old girl, Issa's girlfriend, is sitting at the table, and a guy that she just met is just performing some sexual act on her at a dinner table where other people are around. When we accept that, why not just pull it all out and lay it in between courses, just start smashing and bashing right there on the table? No. We got to call this stuff out. And the day that we got Young Jock and Lil Uzi Vert or whoever the other one was, excuse me if I'm incorrect about who the second person was that was in the dress, in the plastic hoop dress, wearing the makeup. When we start accepting this foolishness becomes mainstream. And now all of a sudden, we got people running around here saying, oh, look at these black men. We can just... They could just go ahead and just put a dress on. No, I'm not going to be a fly. I will never be able to fly as a Negro wearing a dress. It's not going to happen. Sorry. We got to put an end to this foolishness. Young Jock, you're cactus worthy for sure, my dude.
I need you to chill. Maynard, chill with that right now, bro. I need you to really fall back with.
Oh, so it's accepted. So it's cool. It's cool right now. No, this is not cool. This is not cool. He's messing with the culture. We can't accept this.
Culture? What do you mean?
Yo,
Ooh,
this is not.
Is he messing with the culture?
Yo, we are not out here showing. We cannot be out here letting Hollywood or the record industry or Mona Scott or whoever continue to demasculate, to feminize our men. The one thing that black men need to do is stand up and be men. Don't mean you got to be thugs. It don't mean you got to be tough. It means you got to be a man. And if you are a man, now if you're gay and you're a cross dresser and that's what you do, then come out and say that. But don't run around here on Love and Hip Hop sleeping with all the women on the show and then be like, I'm gonna be a cross dresser for one weekend. No, we don't. If Mona Scott is manipulating him for the sake of the show, then that's wrong. If he's doing this for clicks and views for himself, then that's wrong. If he's truly a cross-dressing gay man or whatever that may be, then he needs to come out and say that. But we're sending the wrong message to the world about who we are as black men.
So let me ask you this, Maynard, and but I know you wanted to ask a question. When you talk about the culture, I know on this podcast we've talked about how Tyler Perry is such a celebrated individual, about how many black people he employs and blah, 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 blah.
I'm not a fan of that.
So you're not. So you're not down with none of the brothers over the past 50 years that wore dresses?
I don't.
Whoa. Let's pause in there, Playboy.
I don't subscribe to that. Now, I do know that in roles, Richard Pryor has worn a dress. In roles, Flip Wilson has worn a dress. In roles, Martin Lawrence has worn a dress. I do know that that's happened. Wesley Snipes has worn a dress in roles. But this is something different. This is something. There's something going on.
Was the dress too tight? I mean, because again,
no, what I'm saying is this: when you're in a movie, Lamont, and you know this, and there's like, or let's take the Martin show, and he was, like Spud said, he's playing Shanae. There was a comedic relief involved, and it was part of
that's what he's trying to do now. You just haven't seen the episode.
I'm not sure. That's
not what Young Jock said. I mean, Young Jock said that he
lost the bet.
Jock said that he was doing it for publicity for the show.
Right.
But publicity for the show and a role on the show are two different things. And if it is going back to the point, even to what Maynard was saying in regards to, if it is for clicks and views, because that is something he also added, that, he felt that because he did the perm and that went viral, that this is something else that he would try, that's selling out. Like, if you are only doing this for clicks and views, that's kind of whack, Come on, Jock. I mean, he was already a little suspect on the show, and I was like, you sleeping on, Rashida's couch? Come on, son. Like, you roommates with Lil Scrappy? Come on, man. I know Diddy don't be paying his artists, but you got to have a little bit more money than that. I mean, you are doing mornings at, 94.5 in Atlanta, so I may not know. But my point is that if you are going beyond your own self to try to just get attention, like, that's a bit much, man.
I mean, see, when this becomes like, this was a great stunt. What's the next good stunt? Giving a man head? Let's do that.
Whoa.
I'm saying, where does this stop? Where does this stop? We cannot allow this foolishness to continue, because you make this stunt.
No, man, this is America. This is America. How are you going to stop this black man if he wants to put on female booties, high heel shoes? What? Maynard, I'm just saying, what?
But that goes back to Maynard's point. If that is your lifestyle, if you want to come out, like Maynard said, if you want to come out and that's what you like to wear, then so be it. But to get the attention, it does send them the wrong message. Now, you got Lil Uzi Vert out here wearing blouses, which I ain't mad at Lil Uzi Vert because I thought it was kind of fly. You got Jaden Smith out here wearing dresses. You got Young Jock out here wearing dresses. You got Migos out. Let me get off Migos because they was fly at the BET Awards. Okay, let me take that one back. But you got people blurring the lines on what is male identity and female identity, and that is sending the wrong message to people in the world who support you, buy your music, follow you. Not that we care, but why are you sending me the wrong messages? Why are you sending me mixed messages?
But we do care because what we don't want to have happen is that we become so that the image of the black man becomes feminized to the point where we're easily to disrespect. They've tried to. We can't. I mean, damn! I can't just be a man. We can't just be men. You know, we had to live a life. We had to live the first 400 years on this continent as niggers. Now I gotta deal with that. I gotta deal with that. Right? Somebody say, "Oh, hey, nigger," he'd be like, "Oh man, I can't even be a damn man no more. I gotta be this other thing." Now you gotta be, "Hey, look at this, you know, homo thug or whatever kind of gay, homoerotic fantasy that other people have about black men. Why can't I just be a freaking man?" But I got to see a black man who is doing this for this. If he's doing it for the stunt, then that's detrimental to the image of black men in America, the black men on the face of the planet.
Yeah, Lamont.
I just want to be a man out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it time for a break, man? I need to go get a cocktail. Man, it just be all over the. You know, we got sponsors we need to show some love to, man. Man, it's just. He just being a super Negro tonight, bro. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on out here, man.
All right, when we come back, Tressa Hundley. Tressa Hundley is going to join us. She is one of our Facebook followers, and she has a very big problem with Lamont and Dr. Ben Carson on poverty being a state of mind, and she is going to address Lamont in a worse kind of way. So stay right there. We'll be right back on Three Black Guys with the Mic. Attention all my cigar lovers, guess what? Exquisite Reserve has brand new cigars ready for you to taste today. They got new arrivals of cigars right now as we speak. Make sure you go to exquisitereserve.com right now and pick up yourself a box of brand new cigars. Try out the Triumph Sampler, the Genesis Sampler, the Churchill, or the Signature One. And my favorite is the vintage 1991 Quad. Grab myself a box already. Did you? Go to exquisitereserve.com right now and get yourself a box of the new arrivals from Exquisite Reserve. Exquisite Reserve. More than a word. It's a lifestyle. Now back to the show.
Hey, guys.
And we are not on CP time, see?
I know. You're really early.
Okay, this totally kind of came out of Lamont's brain, and I didn't share with him that you and I had a conversation. But Tressa just happened to call me last week, or she sent me a Facebook message last week or so and said that she was interested in podcasting. And then out of the blue, totally separate, Lamont decided that he ain't like what you said on Facebook and he wanted to fight. But, I talked him down and now he said, well, fine, let's just get a debate. And let me say this. Lamont ain't really violent. Mm-hmm. He ain't, but you got under his skin a little bit, so he wanted to make sure that he had an opportunity.
He just come from violent territory.
Hey man, I'm just trying to understand, why was she talking about my Uncle Ben? You know what I mean? Like, why was she coming for my Uncle Ben Carson? Like, yo,
hey man, happy birthday to Ben Carson today. He's 66 today, by the way.
Hey man, shout out to Uncle Ben. I'll see you in a couple of days, Uncle Ben, because it'll be my birthday as well.
That's funny. Yeah, your Uncle Ben, Uncle Tom.
So, whoa. So why'd you? No. And that's what I'm saying. I need you to explain why you consider to be him. Why is he considered to be an Uncle Tom? and his name is actually Ben. It's Uncle Ben. Why?
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, the word uncle, by the way, Lamont, does not help you defending him not being an Uncle Tom.
But he really is an uncle, bro. Like, that's what I'm
He's
just
an uncle to
trying
somebody, but you got me thinking
yeah,
about
he's
rice,
somebody's
homie.
uncle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we got to give him like uncle, like, you know, Maynard is an uncle, so he's Uncle Maynard. So I need you to defend yourself.
Uncle Maynard?
I'm not an uncle.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
think so.
yeah, I guess I am an uncle.
Exactly, Maynard. So stop.
But
So
look at it, though. Uncle Ben, he has changed his views. Although he claims he grew up in poverty, so on and so forth, money has changed him. And now he's on that conservative view where you don't even know your own history.
Well, let me tell you a secret. I want to have the kind of money that's going to change me too. I ain't saying I'm changing,
No.
but I said I am. But in case
You don't feel me black?
but I get all that. But if you see me riding down the street and I don't speak, just know I got rich.
Oh,
Just
wow.
saying.
Stop it. He said poverty is a state of mind. That is not true.
But poverty is a state of mind.
it is a state of mind. What do you mean?
No, it's not. It's not, because if you look at how things are, okay, people can be the product of their environment. And of course, you know, the upper echelon people, they thrive for more, they have more. When you don't know to actually thrive for more and to want more, you know, that's one thing. But you see how other people are living. It's not a state of mind. It's just in how their economy is
But
working
Tressa,
for them.
isn't that a state of mind? If I see somebody else actually thriving and seeing somebody else getting out of my neighborhood and out of my environment, and I'm not, and somebody else is, that's a state of mind, in my opinion, that says, hey, I'm going to move forward and actually do something about my surroundings rather than somebody who is sitting there soaking in their surroundings.
I don't think so, because again, that's part of what they've grown up to do. It's a traditional thing, just like how your families, you're going to see differences in your families too, where you have people who make a lot of money and some people who don't. But then it's, you know, all about education. And I don't think it's a state of mind thing. I think his terminology for the state of mind was wrong.
I don't think it's wrong, but I mean, I am a hustler, right? That's my DNA. My brother is not. I mean, no disrespect to my brother. He's just not, you know, he doesn't thrive like I do. I mean, it's just my state of mind versus his state of mind. So if somebody wishes to stay there and be poor, now broke is something different in my opinion than poor.
So let's
go ahead.
Let's talk about, you know, the importance of the word poverty and what it means, because there's a legal definition of poverty in the United States, and in fact, because he's the head of HUD, poverty is a word that he has to be very familiar with, because in order to live in a lot of the Section 8 properties or subsidized housing, poverty is a portion of that. So there is a legal definition, a certain dollar amount based on the size of the household that makes you impoverished. Many people live in poverty. They actually live below the poverty line. The idea that he's saying it's a state of mind, I agree with you, Tressa. It's false, but I agree for different reasons. And I think, you know, one of the things that I would go back and say is when he said that, when he made that statement, I think there is no coincidence that just 2 or 3 days later, Trump announced that the budget for HUD would be cut by $6.8 billion a year.
So, Maynard, can I ask you a question? And this is with all due respect.
This is a Norfolk, Virginia thing, by the way, that they're on the same page.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
no, this is a Norfolk University thing.
Yeah,
but
listen.
Norfolk State
Wait.
Norfolk State University. My bad.
Is that
statements? Retract my state of mind.
We all probably have relatives who have a Southern background, right? Who maybe 50 to 75 years ago, they weren't in a certain what we now may call economic status, where we may have had a grandmother or a great grandmother that lived in an outhouse and had a foot tub, and you wasn't able to take a bath every day, and you used leaves to wipe your backside and all those other kind of shenanigans. But their mental state was not impoverished. Although they may have only made a certain dollar amount, their state of mind was not poverty.
I don't have a problem with that. I agree with you.
But no. But what you just what
No,
you
what I'm
and your
saying
just said is that poverty is not a state of mind.
No. I'm saying to you is this. You can believe, and let's call it. We call it poverty. You can call it living ghetto. You can call it being country. Whatever you want to call it. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying is, don't be tricked by the devil. Okay.
It's not a trick.
Hey,
Uncle
wait
Tom
a minute.
Wait
a minute.
She came on the Three Black Guys.
Wait a minute.
Like,
I just wanted to say, Tressa,
don't be tricked by the devil.
Tressa, I'm just happy that I'm not the one that's doing the arguing this week. I just want to say that.
Don't be tricked by the devil in the shenanigans. What this man basically did on the 19th of May of that year, earlier this year, it said, hey, poverty is a state of mind. You all who live in the projects, it's just because your mind ain't right. And then 4 or 5 days later, Donald Trump said, we cutting $6.8 billion from HUD.
The HUD homes. Mm-hmm.
What we have to recognize is that poverty, that legal definition, is how people find themselves being able to make it in the gaps. The fact that there's a mother of 2 or 3 that makes X amount of money, maybe it's $23,000, she is below the poverty line and she needs some assistance. And she may not be, don't get this twisted, because a lot of people make this mistake, she may not be black. She may be white.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question. First, we need to identify now of this tag team we got here. I need to know who's Batman and who's Robin, because I want to address the appropriate person. Maynard, are you Robin? Oh, what are you? Are you the Batman character? This
See,
person
Lamont, nobody's making any personal attacks, my man.
I didn't say anything about personal. I'm just saying.
Trying to name me. You know what this is, Spud? He's trying to call me like this is he's in his Trumpisms. So you want to be like crooked Hillary and Little Ted and Maynard's Batman and Tressa's Robin.
Calling names.
We not. You know what, man? Sit down. Be humble. All right. I need you to fall back real quick on that, man.
All I'm gonna say is one more time.
Take the Kendrick Lamar verse. Be humble.
Are you gonna let me breathe now? I mean, because.
Just address. Listen, you talking to Spartans. You talking to Norfolk State University Spartans.
Here we go.
But look at this, Lamont. Now listen to this, Lamont.
Okay.
The thing about poverty, it doesn't have to be because, this is somebody who's in a low-income housing area.
Okay.
It could be anyone who actually was, working, thriving, doing a great job. All of a sudden, something happened. They lost their house. They lost their car. They got to start from scratch all over again. They could be 50, 60 years old. I know families that have retired and thought they had enough money to actually retire and live comfortably. And medical issues happened that took all their money.
But Tressa,
they're below the poverty line. It's not something that they wanted to do. People want, just because, I'm sorry, but people want to, even though they may live in those type of housing areas or, if it's under HUD or whomever it could be, they don't always necessarily want to be there. They just haven't found how to get to where they need to go.
Okay, so Tressa, let me ask you this question because let me go back to Dr. Ben Carson and let me just kind of express how I hear it, right? Which I agree with you and Maynard in the way you are presenting the definition of poverty. Those things happen, right? Anything can happen. All of us can lose our situation right now. We can go back into recession and we can go below the poverty line, which would make us poverty, correct? And in my opinion, and what I think that Dr. Ben Carson was saying is that that's a temporary state. And what I thought I heard in what Dr. Ben was explaining about poverty being a state of mind is that a person who has had it all and lost it, if they have the mindset, they could get it back again. A person who doesn't want it will not go after it. And I think that that's where he's separating me living below the poverty line and my mental capacity of saying I'm not going to be in this situation forever. Because in my opinion, I think that is, I'm just broke at the moment, right? I'm just messed up. Right? It's kind of like, okay, we in a situation when I don't know about you guys, but, I was messed up when the recession hit. I wasn't living in, below the poverty line, but, I mean, I went through poverty. I mean, I didn't go through poverty, but I was, you know what I'm saying? I was broke at the moment. But I still hustled and I still got out there every single day to be able to rectify that situation.
But you know, I think the trick
Okay.
is go ahead, Tress. I ain't going to jump in
No,
here.
no, you're
I got
fine.
something.
I just felt like I understand what Spud's trying to say, and I understand that that's possibly what he said, but it wasn't relayed to everyone that way.
So this is what I would say. Yeah, our man, Uncle Bernie, will tell you that no one should work 40 hours a week and be in poverty in America. Okay. And you can take minimum wage in this country. You know, hey, you are where you are, right? You know, you had some tough times in life. But you work. You work a full-time job at minimum wage. And you got 2 kids. You work honestly. You trying your level-headed best. You know, maybe you're trying to take some classes, or maybe you even got a second little part-time job trying to make ends meet at minimum wage. Say you worked 60 hours a week at minimum wage. You could work 60 hours a week times $7.25 an hour times 52 weeks and only make $23,000 with your 2 kids. Even though you're doing everything you're trying to do.
How do you live off of that?
You can't. I mean, you got 3 people in the household. You're just slightly above the poverty line by about a couple of $1,000. Now, if you had a 4th person in your family, you're below the poverty line. It's 24,000. You need to make $24,257 to be above the poverty line. So you working 60 hours a week every week. You don't have an impoverished mind. You trying.
Yep.
But those are the realities. And the trick of it was that he was sent out to deliver this. And the other part is, but what you are inferring or implying here is that anybody who's not making it, getting out of poverty, that's on them. And you know what that is? But we have to recognize that there are systemic barriers to moving ahead in all types of arenas in America. There was a systemic barrier to a black man being president until 2008. There's a systemic barrier to women becoming president in America. So you could be rich and the system can still hold you there. You could be well educated. You could be Barack Obama. You could be a Negro who can fly.
Ooh, let me see one of them Negroes. Where they make them Negroes at?
Wilmington, North Carolina. Michael Jordan came out of that area somewhere like that.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Right. You could be a Negro who can fly, who can escape gravity until a system comes in and says, nope, we're not having that. You can be Barack Obama, the first black president. You're going to stand there and you're going to say, look, I'm trying to unite the country. Hey, listen, I want to sit down and have a conversation. I plan on doing such as, and somebody in the system will stand up, primetime television, in the back of the room and say, you lie, which he basically said, you N-word on national TV. So systems can be in place to prevent you from reaching the next level or hurt your ability to reach the next level. Lots of people live below the poverty line, the legal poverty line in America.
So Maynard, let me ask you a question. And Tress, I want you to chime in with your superhero partner.
With your Negro flying partner.
We'll be that. We will be that.
With your Negro flying partner.
Yeah. Negro fly. You know, Maynard has a cape and he flies. It's the flying Negro. So
all right now.
So Tressa, so if you buy into everything that he said, and I'm not saying that those facts and figures, okay, I'll take that. And I believe that he's correct. But if you have that state of mind and you have that, I call it wallowing attitude, I mean, I think that's kind of where Dr. Ben was going. Although you heard one thing, I still feel like, you know, other people heard something different. Out of all of those circumstances, we still, I think he was going with, we can't have this defeated attitude of, yes, my mammy had 6 kids and we only make $36,000 a year for us 8 people in the house. I mean, there's a whole nother conversation we can go to the left about the 6 kids, but that's a whole nother thing. But so when Maynard talks those numbers, I mean, it's like, do we sit there and just say we're all going to split this can of pork and beans and split up this spam and keep it pushing? I mean, because again, I think him saying state of mind is what Maynard was reciting facts, and we're just going to lay in it.
No, and that's I didn't hear Maynard say that. I heard him say these are the choices that I have. Even though they might have kids, 1 to how many ever kids that they may have, they have to work hard to get just that little bit of food on the table. 60 hours a week, doing what they can do to make ends meet, and they still, it's almost like Good Times, where you're trying to keep your head above water. But even though they possibly could want to go back to school, but where are you going to find the time to do that? Because you still have to parent. And even if you have someone else to help you out, you're working at 60 hours a week, because you start all over again. You have enough time to feed your kids, check out their homework, which we're hoping that's what they're doing. But then you start all over again, get everybody ready for bed, and then up the next morning and you're out the door. Same routine. But when do you have time? You have a thought in your head of something you want to do, but you're thinking about living right now. You're not really thinking about, okay, how can I make this project work? Or how can I make, build up my skill set so I can move forward, so I can go get a $40,000, $50,000 job, so I can do a little bit better. It takes time. And it's not that they want to be in that place. There are some people that I believe who do want to be in that place. They don't mind collecting government assistance, but there's a lot of people who would like to do better.
Let me jump in here real quick before and we're up against a break. So let me see if I can try to. I think part of the idea is that saying that it's a mindset. As what Tressa was saying, is that some people have accepted it and they just enjoy it. Now, but she's right. There are some people who are like that.
That's mindset.
I think, however, that is a mindset issue for those.
I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Let me finish because you're not going to get the W you think you're looking for here, sir.
What did you just say?
It's not coming.
You just said it was a mindset, Maynard.
For some
he
people,
said it.
But
he
what
said
I'm
it only based off of those few people. We can't say for
So,
everyone.
do you mean to tell me that you thought when Dr. Ben was talking that he was absolutely talking to everyone?
He didn't make any other statement. He said, it's a mindset.
He said it across the board.
He said it across the board. So this is the other part of this. That is to accept the fact that, as Ronald Reagan would have had you believe back in the 80s, that there are these welfare queens. And that is also to accept the concept that somehow it's us, that it's black folks. This is the picture that they're painting. Black women in America out by percentage, both race and gender, a higher percentage of black women are enrolled in college than any other group. That means, and these are the people that we typically think of when we think of the projects, when we think of subsidized housing. Black women in America, that's who we think of.
Who is we? Mr. Statistician? Mr. Always want to go by the numbers? What do you mean, who is
Mr.
we?
Flying Negro?
Yeah, Mr. Flying Negro.
People,
what you just,
I just want to say that the title of this episode is going to be The Flying Negro. That's going to be the title of this episode.
No. It's not going to happen.
That's the way that the media and that the government and that the Republican Party will have you believe that Barack Obama said this very well, we have got to stop thinking that entitlement programs is white people giving money to black people. White people, every time Republicans do a good job of saying this is redistribution of wealth, which they really are saying, and that which is code, a dog whistle for Me, Mr. White Man, I make all this money so that some poor black woman can have 8 kids and lay around the house doing nothing. That is the picture that they would want you to see. That's what they want you to believe. But when I tell you that black women are enrolled in college more than any other group as a percentage of their population, when I tell you that they are that systematically, as of 2013, black women earn 64 cents to a white man's dollar for the same job. The system is rigged against them. When I tell you that the system is rigged against white women, that they earn only 78 cents to a white man's dollar, that the black man earns 75 cents, and Hispanic 67, and Hispanic women 54 cents, that they predict that white women won't even catch up with the white man until 2059. The system is rigged against them. So what they basically are trying to say is, we're going to cut this budget, and y'all just going to have to just dream about being rich and dream about being not impoverished.
So let's just go back to the beginning. And Tressa, first I want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. And this conversation all started when you came to our Facebook page, and you talked about the comment that he made about poverty is a state of mind. And we've went on and all around and about the poverty line, which is different than a mind state of poverty. And like I just tried, and this is just my perspective, is that, you know, a lot of stuff, you're right, I don't agree with Ben Carson, but I do agree with the point of a state of mind, because I can say from my own upbringing, is by the numbers, we may have, quote unquote, been in poverty, but we were never in that mind state. We never operated in that. If you go back several generations, again, in my great grandparents, and a lot of this I just learned about, again, the whole outhouse thing, the whole, you know, using the Sears catalog as toilet paper. They never were mentally in the state of poverty, although. And you're right, Maynard, with the numbers and all the other kind of stuff of what a poverty line is and the finances, we never carried ourselves. We had a certain level of pride in what it is that we did every day when we got up and we either went to school or went to work, or however it is that we did, is we had a very positive way of an outlook. And I think historically, we as African Americans, blacks, Negroes, whatever you want to call us, we have a history of not having a mental state, although even we were in chains, we just did things differently. So I think, again, as we wrap, and we said several different times, that is really my bottom line of all of this, is that out of all the things that Ben Carson has said over this past several months and even years that have been wrong, this one, I think he was right. Because, again, historically, we've never had a mental state of poverty. Now, again, what we got in the pocketbooks and the pinto beans and the lima beans and all the other foolishness, what we got on the stove and the spam, absolutely. But the government cheese that I used to eat and love, but that had nothing to do with our state of mind at all.
Right.
Tressa?
That means that poverty has nothing to do with state of mind. Okay. But go ahead, Spud. Go ahead. Do your job.
Thank you so very much. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. You all are you're the best. I love you.
I am so
Thank you,
glad.
Tressa.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Tressa, for loving me and not to these other two Negroes.
Exactly.
Oh,
That flying Negro. That flying Negro.
Thank you so very much, Tressa. Have a great evening. We truly appreciate you supporting the podcast. Thank you so very much. So, Lamont, the base is falling apart. I'm going to give you one more time to see if you can defend, is Donald Trump still winning? Now, you know, the Amnesty Don is out here running amok again. Even Breitbart is even reporting that, you know, the base is burning the Make America Great Again hats.
They burning them hats, Lamont.
Donald Trump
Rush
still
Limbaugh.
winning, though?
Rush Limbaugh came out against
burning
them.
house.
Laura Ingraham, Ann Coulter,
Listen, man.
Breitbart.
Listen. T. Rump still got the chair. T. Rump and company still got the Senate. Tell me where I'm wrong. They still got the House.
So, Jemele,
let me finish.
You said
Let me
Jemele
finish.
Hill was right, calling him a
Let me
white
finish.
supremacist, that was
Yes,
fact.
he is.
But you know what? And also,
Lauren
a
Ingram
couple
came
weeks But hold on,
Yes.
Spud. A couple of weeks ago, he said, yeah, I'd rather us not. See, when Jemele come out and say something sideways about the president, he's in support. When as y'all would say, the great Charlemagne the God said, we need to call out these crackers or whatever he said. Ma said, no, we don't speak like that. We don't speak like that. It's too.
It was. No, because honestly and truly, Jemele, she had a certain level of class. I think the way that she did it. And to me, it's just certain ones, like certain words.
Wait a minute, Lamont.
I'm just saying. What?
What class is it to go on Twitter and say Donald Trump is a white supremacist and he only surrounds himself with white supremacists? That ain't no class. She might as well have said we need to call them white devils and cracker-ass crackers. That's pretty much the same thing.
No, it's not. No, but she didn't use that language, bro. That's what I'm saying, is that you can call a woman a lot of different things and they still mean the same thing.
But you can't call her, you can call her a hoe, but you can't call her a bitch.
My point exactly.
I don't right. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. There are people out here who know me. I don't support that, ladies. I ain't supporting that at all.
Maynard, listen.
I ain't calling no women hoes or benches. No, I ain't doing that.
Not in public, of course not. But
I'm not doing that in private.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you have that. But all I'm saying is, I'm just still not comfortable with cracker. That ain't me.
You ain't been recording me, have you?
Oh yeah, I got you, brother. Shout out to Kevin Hart. Oh.
That's what I was getting to.
Oh, why you gotta
about to say?
We supposed to be ending this show. We supposed to be ending this show.
I was gonna end on Maynard. Philly's not looking good this year.
Shout out to Kevin Hart, 215, baby. This what we do.
Hey, look.
I don't understand how you're saying it with such pride.
If Philly, stand up. What you got, Maynard?
Right,
Allen Iverson, baby. What you got, Maynard?
Wait a minute now. Kevin Hart's one thing, but you ain't gonna be out here disrespecting Allen Iverson.
I'm not. I'm showing love.
You ain't gonna be out here mocking Allen Iverson. No, right now. First of all, AI, I know you got killers. Please don't send them on his head in the Kanye moment. Don't send them killers for his head, AI.
You gotta come up to
Lamont don't know. Lamont don't know what he talking about. But let's just get back to Kevin Hart. For those who don't know, the McRib is back.
Did you say the McRib? Yo, Maynard, you get a W, Playboy. You get a W on that one.
I can't take credit for that. That's the internet is a savage. That's what first.
The internet is a savage, man.
So Kevin Hart is out here. He cheated on his first wife and got with his second wife, and he called her his rib. Hey, man, in my Kevin Hart voice, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I had to get a woman in my life. She's like a rib. She's like a rib, because, Adam, they made Eve out of the rib. Now, the internet is a savage. They jumped on him because now he done cheated on this wife while she was pregnant. And they said, first of all, they come in at his wife, too. They said, because, she's not black. So a lot of black women came out on her like, well, that's what you get for going after a black man when you knew he was married. McRib. That's how the internet came at her. So
black women savages too.
Whew, savage. So Kevin, dude, this is not a good look for you right here, my man. You did this. You did this to yourself.
On that note, I'm gonna lead into the cactus, and you might as well continue on with Kevin at this point.
No, I'm gonna let Charlemagne address Kevin. I know he already had him at the front of the congregation. I'm not going to go in on Kevin like that. Kevin,
I'm confused. Why? I'm saying, why are you being so easy? Because you talk about black men, about how black men have to do this, and we got to do better. I mean, you spent more time on young Jock wearing a dress than addressing this Kevin Hart scenario. I'm just feeling like this is not being, Maynard scale. It's not. It just doesn't. It
might be a little biased.
Biased. Yeah, come on, man.
Don't
let it up like that. Why?
I'm complicated. I'm complicated, baby. I had other people. There are other people who I want to give the cactus to this week.
All right, let's go. Maynard, who are you giving the cactus to?
I got a three-way cactus. Cactus going on this week. It's a unique one, and it covers all aspects of things. I'm just saying, man. God bless her, but Hillary Clinton, can you sit down and
thank
be
you.
humble?
Thank you.
Please fall back, fall way back. I know you got a book. I know you got to get it on, but you lost. You brought this on yourself. You didn't go to Michigan. You didn't go to Wisconsin. You didn't go to them places. You lost. Just sit down. Now, at the same time, going back to the Jemele Hill thing, Don Trump, I ain't going to address you just yet. I got something for you. But what's your girl name? Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yes.
Please, pull up to the bar. Let me go ahead and pour you some of this cacti for asking that ESPN fired Jemele Hill. The president of the United States and the White House, the office of the White House, of course, by her being the press secretary, she is an extension of the office of the White House, should not be in the business of picking winners and losers or suggesting that people get fired unless they work for the White House or unless they work for the United States government. Stay out of private business. ESPN, while albeit part of ABC, part of Disney, is a private business. It's not owned by the government. Just you out here parroting Don Trump's remarks. You're stupid. You're lucky to have a job. You might not have it very long because Donald Trump has a habit of putting 2 or 3 people on the street each month. I don't know if he's made his quota for the month of September, so be careful. And lastly, Don Trump going out. You're not presidential, my dude, when you're calling another leader of a country Rocket Man. When you're making cartoons of Hillary Clinton getting hit in the back of the head with a golf ball. When do you find time? If you're freaking president of the United States, when do you find time to make cartoons up where you're hitting golf balls that ultimately hit Hillary Clinton and make her fall? When do you find the time? Are there not enough things to do? Have you fixed the Flint water crisis yet? Have you funded the HBCUs the way you said you were? Have you fixed healthcare? Have you passed any legislation? You got time to be at your computer playing in PowerPoint and After Effects? My dude, please.
He got After Effects.
He got something. Creative Cloud. Creative Cloud. Yeah. He got a Creative Cloud. My dude, why don't you go through the cabinets, find some of the things that Barack left behind. There's a to-do list, I'm certain. He told you about North Korea. He also tried to warn you about Russia. Do those things. We don't need you out here being animator-in-chief. For that, y'all deserve some cactus. All of y'all.
I think I know what the problem is, though. It's Melania's fault.
Oh, this is interesting.
It's got to be Melania's fault. I mean, any man who's doing all that tweeting, he cannot be getting none at home.
Whoa!
He can't be. I mean, I'm willing to put money on, and I'm not trying to be in their business. I'm not trying to be in their bedroom or none of that. I just cannot see that he's getting some. I cannot see. I can't even see. I just can't. Melania's not giving him any, man. And because she's not giving him any, she don't have any influence over him. And she's out shopping. And she's, chilling, worried about her and Barron. And that's it.
So you saying this is what led to the Monica Lewinsky scandal?
No, Bill was just a savage. Bill's a pimp.
Bill's a savage.
Bill's a savage. Bill, yeah, Bill want to get some. Ain't no question. Bill was out here. Bill's out here on the Floyd Mayweather, trip. He grabbing girls by the asses.
There's a difference between some and enough, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I don't think that Donald Trump is getting any.
Lamont.
I mean, I'm just trying to let y'all breathe because all I know is when I seen my man shake his wife's hand and push her off as she was introducing him. I think it was at some sort of military base or something. I mean, the reality is that between those two, although they may be legally married, that there is a very large disconnect beyond giving them some or whatever it is. They got some other stuff going on between those two. And I just think, House of Cards is real. You know what I'm saying? So I think Melania out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? If you know about House of Cards, Melania in these streets, bro. Hey, man, I'm just telling you, bro. They say life imitates art, right? So
out in these streets, out in these streets, I mean, Lamont, that's a big implication.
That was almost
out in these streets.
No, I'm just saying, G. Like, I mean, you got to look at the energy between the two. It ain't.
So hold on, Melania Trump. But hold on, Lamont. Melania Trump ain't done nothing too crazy, right? She ain't done nothing too crazy. She ain't out here like no white supremacist. Nah, she ain't out here. But you hit her with essentially for women the cracker ass cracker.
Whoa! I'm not using this language, G. Like what?
Yo, Lamont, out these streets is a euphemism for.
Out these streets is. I'm out
that's
here.
Kind of. Yeah. Yo, out in these streets is a little bit much, Lamont. Come on, man.
That was a bit much.
That's a bit much.
Listen, man.
Not giving the man some is. I ain't messing around with him like that. All I want to do is shop and lay up and sit by the pool and take Barron to school. I don't even want to take Barron to school. See him off to the door. Let the Secret Service take him to school. I'm going to fly and do some photo ops. But you don't see Melania do anything. You don't see Melania speak. You don't see her pass out food in Florida. You don't see her out there addressing her own issues. You don't see her say anything.
That's why she's in these streets, bro. She's low-key with it.
Oh, whoa.
That's how you supposed to be in these streets.
What does being? So you're saying that the first lady, you're saying FLOTUS.
The current
hoe?
Not the HOTUS? No. I didn't say hoe. What I said was that our current First Lady of the United States, you said it best, when she drops off Barron and Donald is at 1600 Pennsylvania, what is she doing? She's doing something. So she's in these streets, bro.
Whoa, what? Spud, help me understand what out in these streets mean.
I think I know what out in these streets mean, and I think that I can't say that Melania's out in these streets.
She in these streets, bro.
I don't think so, man. I think that Melania.
Why can't she just be shopping, having a cocktail or two with friends, and decorating the house, Lamont? Why she gotta be out in these streets? Because that means something. That means something
in these streets.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not a big dude on female fashion, but every time I see Melania, she is kind of fly though. You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
Her wares, her threads be on point. So somebody like that means she got a little swag to what she got going on. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget, because I just saw it the other day, she was a nude model at one time. You know what I'm saying? With a little swag where she was out showing. Didn't we talk about this a few podcasts?
Hey.
You know what I mean? So
wives are off.
Right,
I'm just saying, like, so she has a history of being fly and being in these streets.
Wow, when was she? Tell me when she was in these streets. What is the history of her being in these streets, Lamont?
But see, I think Maynard, you have to kind of like Michelle said, when you sometimes you have to go high. When I say in these streets, I probably don't. I know I don't mean what you're probably thinking of, some regular individual that may quote unquote be in the streets. Yeah, thotting. There we go.
So what does it mean?
She's not doing what Cardi B used to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Hold on. But Cardi B, you're saying
you should just strip. You don't know if Cardi B was a thought or not.
No, but she was in these streets. Cardi B said it. I heard her say on Instagram. She used to sell.
Never mind.
Yeah, she said that, bro.
Never mind.
So our first lady is not out. She's not selling or anything like that. But she's in these streets. She's making sure that she's not frustrated. She's making sure that all her needs are being serviced. She's good.
So you're saying
I need for her to switch that energy to Donald J. Trump. And I think that if Donald J. Trump was getting some on a regular basis, right? On a daily, on a nightly basis, just to say at this point he's 71, on a weekly basis, I think the Twitter rants would stop, man. He needs some.
In the middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning. You got Melania Trump at home, and you up on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah. There's an issue.
How do you know she's at home? That's what y'all missing.
Oh my God, she better be.
She might not be. She be like, Donald, I'll be back in the morning, bro.
Listen.
Take the baby to school.
There
I
is
see
no
you at 6
way
a.m.
that Melania Trump
So
could be in these streets. The Secret Service they ain't even having that. That ain't even gonna happen.
She rolling with. Listen, hold up. We still supposed to be in cactus mode. So we talked about Bill Clinton, William Jefferson Clinton. William was in these streets, bro.
He is the president. We ain't talking about Hillary.
Oh, so the
Hillary
president
wasn't in these streets.
Hillary was trying to get some rest.
Oh, thank God that's what you said.
Hillary was trying to get some rest, bro.
You don't know what just happened to my blood pressure.
Hillary was trying to get it. Like, I'm tired. I've been running this race for a minute. So what I'm saying is that Melania has, and I don't know the age differential, but there's a difference between those two. And what you also don't know is we talk about Donald J. Trump is tweeting at 3 a.m. He could mess around and be using Hootsuite, and he could be programming them tweets, bro. Donald might be in the bed sleep.
Donald might be in the bed with Melania.
Oh no, bro.
No,
I'm with Spud.
And if so, the bed is one side of the bed is cold, and one side of the bed is cold.
One side is cold and the other side is cold. I don't understand what just happened.
I was gonna say that one side was hot and one side was cold.
Hold on.
Leaning towards Lamont's analogy, but both of the sides of the bed is cold because Donald ain't getting.
Was
none,
that
and Melania ain't getting none, and she ain't giving them none, and.
No.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
So hold on, Lamont. So out in these streets, and she's not being frustrated, and she's getting her needs met. Are you suggesting that she's got another man or men?
I'm just telling you, I believe that art imitates life. And one of my favorite shows on Netflix, shout out to Netflix, because we coming for you for those advertising dollars next, is that in that show, House of Cards, the first lady was getting it, bro. She was in these streets.
Well,
I believe that.
Of Lamont G. Hayes are not the views and opinions.
Lamont's on his own with that one.
Guys with the mic.
Lamont's on your own.
Guys with the mic that Melania Trump is out here having an affair on the president of the United States because
I just said she's in the street.
Know that we would believe that at all, but we do want for Melania to hopefully come on, man, get that man a little bit so he can get off that Twitter account. I'm telling you. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
As far as, before we go, and as far as Hillary Clinton, I could not be more disturbed and more disappointed. I understand, Hillary, you got to get your money, but you lost, dog. Period. You just lost. You going after Bernie and, Donald Trump breathing down your neck, and you trying to recreate the whole debate, and you just, nah. I need you to figure out what we're going to do with the Democratic Party and get off of everybody else. The
Spud, you know what that was? You know what this is? And Lamont, you know this for truth. A couple weeks ago, we were watching in the whatever it was, the award show or whatever, and just at the end, Remy Ma decided, yo, Nick, what's up? Take another shot at Nick. So this is that. If it was whack for Remy, then this is whack for Hillary. Is that correct?
No, I got you. She's doing too much. She need to go chill right now. She's doing too much. Yeah. You're right. She's doing too much.
Sit down. Be humble.
Did you just hear that song for the first time? Because you've used that reference this entire show.
I just heard it the night. I've heard it before today, but I just heard it before we started taping. I was listening to it before we started taping, and I've been thinking about it for the longest time. I'm trying to figure out how to work that into a Be Humble award. I got a bunch of new awards I want to give out.
So are you just putting things in the show without discussing it with us first?
I never discussed the cactus with y'all. I just came up with it. I want to discuss why I ain't had no air horns in like 29 episodes.
Here we go.
I want to give y'all the I'm on a New Level award. No, I'm messing with y'all. Go ahead.
Black China's mom. Black China, I need you to get your mama. Black China, I need you to get your mama. Is what I need you to do.
Oh my God, what Black China?
Yo, Black China's mama. I need you to get your mama, Black China. I mean, I know you got the Rob thing happening. You're trying to work out the custody, and you got, you know, King and Tiger over here, and you got the new dude, and you out here racing in China, in the race
Just
for
the
China.
race
I
for
need you to get your mama, Black China. That's what I need you to do. Get your mama. Ladies and gentlemen, we out. Thank you so very much for Tressa Hunley. Did I say it right? Hunley. For
Just
joining us
you know
on this
what? No
episode.
one would have knew if you just said it and just be quiet about it.
Well, she would listen, and I want for her to, make sure that we're saying it right. I don't want her to be like, oh, these niggas is saying it wrong. We will talk to you again next Tuesday. Peace out. Whew, man.